Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Aristotle and I am a level 1 student at Jahan School Islamabad campus. So today here with new colony project and my interesting topic is um, philosophical perspectives and on achieving happiness. So my first question, ChatGPT, my first question to you: what did Aristotle believe about happiness?
Absolutely. So, to dive into Aristotle's perspective on happiness, he believed that true happiness, or eudaimonia, is achieved through living a life of virtue and fulfilling one's potential. He emphasized the importance of rational activity and virtuous behavior as the path to a fulfilling life. For him, happiness wasn't just about pleasure or material wealth, but about living a life of moral excellence and purpose. If you'd like, I can go into even more detail.
Yes, more detail, because I'm not understand what you say. Okay.
Of course, I'd be happy to explain further. Aristotle's concept of happiness, or eudaimonia, is essentially about living the best possible life. He argued that happiness isn't just a momentary feeling of pleasure, but a long-term state of flourishing and fulfillment. He believed that to achieve this happiness, one must cultivate virtues like courage, temperance, and wisdom, because these virtues enable us to live in accordance with reason, which he saw as the defining feature of being human. In other words, living virtuously and using our reason well leads to a fulfilling and meaningful life. If you have any specific aspects you'd like me to clarify or dive deeper into, just let me know.
Okay, nice. Okay, so ChatGPT, my next question to you: how does Aristotle ideas of virtue relate to happiness?
Great question. Aristotle viewed virtue as a central component of happiness. For him, virtues are excellent traits of character that enable us to live in accordance with reason. When we develop virtues, we're essentially cultivating good habits and making choices that lead to a balanced and fulfilling life. In practical terms, virtues like courage, temperance, and justice help us navigate life's challenges in a way that promotes overall well-being. When we consistently act virtuously, we achieve a harmonious and flourishing state, which is what Aristotle considered true happiness. So, in essence, virtue and happiness are deeply intertwined for Aristotle, with virtue being the pathway to achieving genuine, long-lasting happiness. Let me know if you'd like more details on any specific virtue or aspect.
Okay, so more detail.
Absolutely. Let's delve deeper. Aristotle distinguished between different types of virtues. Broadly, they fall into two categories: moral virtues and intellectual virtues. Moral virtues, these are qualities of character developed through habit and practice. Examples include courage, the mean between recklessness and cowardice; temperance, the balance between overindulgence and deficiency; and justice, fairness and giving each their due. Moral virtues are cultivated by repeatedly choosing the right actions, which eventually shape our character. Two intellectual virtues, these are qualities of the mind developed through teaching and learning. Examples include wisdom, the ability to make sound judgments, and understanding, the grasp of fundamental principles. These intellectual virtues help us reason well and make informed choices. Aristotle believed that by cultivating both moral and intellectual virtues, we create a balanced life. This balance leads to eudaimonia, where we are not just happy in a superficial way, but truly fulfilled and flourishing as human beings. If you have any specific virtues or concepts you'd like to explore more deeply, feel free to let me know.
Okay, so ChatGPT, my next question to you: how did Epicurus define happiness?
Absolutely. Epicurus had a distinct take on happiness. He defined happiness primarily as pleasure, but with a nuanced understanding. For Epicurus, the highest pleasure is not just physical indulgence, but the absence of pain and disturbance, which he called ataraxia, tranquility of the mind, and aponia, absence of physical pain. Epicurus believed that true happiness comes from living a life of moderation and intellectual fulfillment. He emphasized simple pleasures like friendship, knowledge, and living a virtuous life over fleeting or intense physical pleasures. He also argued that many fears, such as the fear of death or of the gods, are sources of unnecessary anxiety, and that removing these fears leads to a more peaceful and happy life. In essence, Epicurus saw happiness as the state of living wisely, avoiding excess, and nurturing meaningful relationships and intellectual pursuits. If you'd like more details on any specific aspect of Epicurus' philosophy, just let me know.
Okay, any Chatgpt has answered. So my next question to you: what is philosophical?
That's a great question. Philosophy at its core is the study of fundamentals about existence, knowledge, values, reason, mind, and language. It's a discipline that in critical thinking and arguing explore reality and our place in it. Philosophy is often divided into several branches, such as metaphysics. This branch deals with the nature of reality, exploring concepts like being, existence, and the universe. Epistemology, this focuses on the nature and scope of knowledge, questioning how we know what we know. Ethics, absolutely. No worries at all. If you have any more questions or if there's anything specific you'd like, of course, as I was mentioning, philosophy is divided into several key branches. One, ethics. This branch explores questions of morality, such as what is the right thing to do, what constitutes a good life, and how we should treat others. Two, logic. This is the study of reasoning and argumentation, focusing on the principles of valid inference and the structure of statements. Three, metaphysics, as mentioned, it deals with the fundamental nature of reality, including concepts like existence, objects, and their properties. Four, epistemology. This branch is about the nature and scope of knowledge, investigating how we know what we know, the limits of knowledge, and the justification of beliefs. Five, absolutely, I'll keep it concise. Aesthetics is the branch of philosophy that deals with the nature of beauty, art, and taste. Explore. Got it. Absolutely. I'm here whenever you need me. Just let me know if you have more questions or if, of course. Got it. I'll make sure to provide thoroughly detailed responses for you. Whenever you need more depth or have specific questions, just let me know and I'll dive right in. Absolutely. I'll make sure to give you a comprehensive and in-depth answer. If you have a specific topic or question in mind, feel philosophy is essentially the study of fundamental questions regarding existence, knowledge, values, reason, mind, and language. It's a discipline that encourages critical thinking, logical analysis, and systematic reasoning to understand the nature of reality and our place within it. Philosophy is typically divided into several branches. One, metaphysics. This branch examines the nature of reality, exploring concepts like being, existence, and the universe. It asks questions such as what is there and what is it like? Two, epistemology. This is the study of knowledge and belief. It investigates the nature, scope, and limits of human knowledge, asking how we know what we know and what justifies our beliefs. Three, ethics. This branch deals with questions of morality. Absolutely. I'll keep going in detail. Four, ethics. This branch explores questions about what is right and wrong, what it means to live a good life, and how we should act towards others. It includes theories like utilitarianism, deontology, and virtue ethics, each offering different perspectives on moral decision making. Five, logic. Logic focuses on the principles of valid reasoning and argument. It helps us understand how to construct sound arguments and avoid logical fallacies. Six, aesthetics. This branch examines the nature of beauty, art, and taste. It delves into how we perceive and appreciate art and what makes something aesthetically valuable. In addition to these branches, philosophy often intersects with other fields such as science, politics, and religion, providing a foundational framework for critical inquiry and deep reflection. If you'd like me to expand on any specific branch or concept, just let me know.
Okay, and so my next question to you, philosophical is more important for our environment?
That's an intriguing question. Philosophy plays a crucial role in shaping our understanding and approach to the environment in several significant ways. One, ethical frameworks. Philosophy helps us develop ethical principles regarding our relationship with nature. For example, it prompts us to ask whether we have moral duties to non-human entities such as animals, plants, and ecosystems. Philosophical ethics can guide policies that promote environmental stewardship and sustainability. Two, environmental aesthetics. Philosophy helps us appreciate the intrinsic value of nature. It
Please long answer on it.
Absolutely. Let's dive deeper into why philosophy is so important for our environment. Three, conceptual understanding. Philosophy helps us clarify and refine the concepts we use to think about the environment. For instance, the idea of nature itself can be explored philosophically to understand what we consider valuable or worth preserving. This conceptual clarity can lead to more coherent environmental policies and practices. For critical reflection, philosophy encourages us to critically reflect on our assumptions and values. It helps us question anthropocentrism, the belief that human beings are the central or most important entities in the universe. By adopting a more ecocentric or biocentric perspective, we can foster a deeper respect for the natural world. Five, interconnectedness. Philosophical inquiry often highlights the interconnectedness of all life. This perspective can inspire more holistic approaches to environmental issues, recognizing that human well-being is deeply linked to the health of the planet. Six, policy and governance. Philosophical principles underpin many environmental policies and laws. For instance, debates about climate change, conservation, and resource management are often grounded in philosophical debates about justice, rights, and responsibilities. Seven, long-term thinking. Philosophy encourages us to think beyond immediate gratification and consider long-term impacts. This perspective is vital for sustainable environmental practices, helping us prioritize the well-being of future generations. Interdisciplinary connections. Philosophy often intersects with science, economics, and sociology, enriching our understanding of environmental issues from multiple angles. This interdisciplinary approach allows for more comprehensive and effective solutions. In summary, philosophy provides the foundational reasoning, ethical guidance, and conceptual clarity necessary for addressing complex environmental challenges. By promoting deeper reflection and ethical consideration, philosophy helps us cultivate a more sustainable and harmonious relationship with the environment. If there's any specific aspect you'd like me to expand on even further, just let me know. Of course, let's go even more in depth. Philosophy and environmental ethics. At its core, environmental ethics is a branch of philosophy that examines the moral relationship between humans and the natural world. It challenges us to consider the intrinsic value of nature beyond just its utility to humans. Philosophers like Aldo Leopold and Arne Naess have contributed to deep ecology, which argues for the inherent worth of all living beings and ecosystems. Interconnectedness and holism. Philosophy often emphasizes the interconnectedness of all life. Systems thinking, which has philosophical roots, helps us understand that environmental issues cannot be isolated. For example, climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution are all interconnected, and philosophy encourages a holistic approach to solving them. Long-term and intergenerational justice. Philosophy encourages us to think about the rights and needs of future generations. This long-term perspective is crucial in environmental decision-making, ensuring that we preserve resources and a healthy planet for those who come after us. Environmental epistemology. Philosophy also delves into how we know and understand environmental phenomena. It encourages critical examination of scientific knowledge, recognizing the limitations and assumptions inherent in our understanding of the environment. Philosophy and policymaking. Many environmental policies are grounded in philosophical principles. For example, the precautionary principle, which advocates for preventive action in the face of uncertainty, is rooted in philosophical reasoning about risk and responsibility. ecological worldviews. Philosophy fosters different worldviews that shape how we interact with the environment. For instance, indigenous philosophies often emphasize harmony with nature, offering valuable insights for sustainable living. Philosophy and environmental justice. Environmental philosophy also intersects with social justice. It examines how environmental burdens and benefits are distributed among different communities, often focusing on the rights of marginalized groups and the equitable distribution of environmental goods and harms. In conclusion, philosophy is indispensable for cultivating a deeper, more reflective, and ethically grounded approach to environmental issues. It not only helps us understand the complexities of the natural world, but also guides us in creating more sustainable and just practices for the future. If there's any particular angle or concept you'd like to explore further, I'm here to help.
Okay, nice. Nice corporate. So, Chatgpt, my next question to you: how does Buddhism define happiness?
Absolutely. Buddhism offers a profound perspective on happiness that centers on the concepts of suffering and enlightenment. One, the nature of suffering, dukkha. Buddhism teaches that life inherently involves suffering, which can manifest as pain, dissatisfaction, and impermanence. This suffering arises from attachment, craving, and ignorance. The Four Noble Truths. Central to Buddhism is the teaching of the Four Noble Truths. First, there's the truth of suffering, dukkha. Second, there's the truth of the origin of suffering, which is craving and attachment. Third, there's the truth of the cessation of suffering, meaning that it is possible to end suffering by overcoming attachment. Finally, there's the truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, known as the Noble Eightfold Path. 3, the Noble Eightfold Path. This path provides a practical guide to end suffering and achieve happiness. It includes right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. By following these principles, individuals can cultivate wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. For mindfulness and meditation, Buddhism places a strong emphasis on mindfulness and meditation as tools for achieving inner peace and happiness. Through mindfulness, individuals become more aware of their thoughts, emotions, and sensations, reducing cravings and attachments that lead to suffering. 5, non-attachment and impermanence, anicca. One of the key teachings in Buddhism is the impermanence of all things. By understanding that everything is transient, individuals can let go of attachments and find a deeper, more lasting form of happiness that is not dependent on external circumstances. 6, compassion and loving kindness, metta. Buddhism teaches absolutely. And building on that, 6, compassion and loving kindness. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of cultivating compassion, karuna, and loving kindness, metta, towards all beings. By developing these qualities, individuals not only alleviate the suffering of others, but also find inner peace and joy. This compassionate mindset helps break the cycle of selfish craving, leading to deeper, more sustainable happiness. 7, enlightenment, nirvana. The ultimate goal in Buddhism is achieving enlightenment or nirvana, which is a state of liberation from suffering and the cycle of rebirth, samsara. In this state, the mind is free from attachments, desires, and ignorance, and true, lasting happiness is realized. 8, balance and middle way. Buddhism advocates for the middle way, which is a balanced approach to life. This means avoiding extremes of self-indulgence and self-mortification. By following the middle way, individuals find a harmonious balance that leads to genuine happiness and well-being. 9, ethical living. In Buddhism, ethical conduct is essential for happiness. By following ethical... Absolutely. Let's continue with that deeper exploration. Ethical living in Buddhism, ethical conduct, or sila, is foundational for achieving happiness. This includes practicing non-harming, ahimsa, truthfulness, compassion, and generosity. By living ethically, individuals reduce negative karma and cultivate positive states of mind, leading to inner peace. 9, wisdom, prajna. Buddhism places a strong emphasis on developing wisdom, which involves understanding the true nature of reality, including impermanence, anicca, suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. This deep insight helps individuals transcend attachment and aversion, leading to genuine, lasting happiness. 11, liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Buddhism teaches that by overcoming ignorance and attachment, one can break free from the cycle of rebirth. Samsara, this liberation or nirvana, is the ultimate state of happiness where the mind is free from all suffering and disturbances. 12, the role of community, Sangha. Buddhism also highlights the importance of the Sangha, or community of practitioners. Support from a compassionate community helps individuals stay motivated and inspired on their path, fostering a collective environment that nurtures happiness. Absolutely. To sum it all up, Buddhism defines happiness as a state of inner peace and freedom from suffering, achieved through ethical living, mindfulness, wisdom, and compassion. By understanding the nature of suffering and following the path laid out in the teachings, individuals can cultivate a deep, enduring happiness that transcends temporary pleasures. If there are any other aspects or details you'd like to explore further, just let me know.
Okay. So my next question to you: what does Confucianism say about happiness?
Great question. Confucianism has a unique perspective on happiness that emphasizes moral virtues, social harmony, and fulfilling one's role in the community. One moral virtue day in Confucianism, happiness is closely tied to the cultivation of moral virtues, such as benevolence, ren, righteousness, propriety, li, wisdom, zi, and faithfulness, shin. By developing these virtues, individuals achieve inner harmony and a sense of fulfillment. 2, social harmony. Confucianism places a strong emphasis on the importance of harmonious relationships, both within the family and in society. Happiness is seen as the result of fulfilling one's roles and responsibilities, whether as a parent, child, ruler, or citizen. When everyone acts with virtue and respect, social harmony and individual happiness naturally follow. Family and relationships. In Confucian thought, the family is the cornerstone of society. Happiness is closely linked to filial piety, shao, respect for parents and elders, and maintaining strong, nurturing relationships. And a harmonious family life is considered a key source of personal happiness. 4, self-cultivation. Confucianism stresses the importance of self-cultivation, which involves continuous self-improvement and reflection. By striving to become absolutely. And to continue, 5, harmony with nature. Confucianism also acknowledges the importance of living in harmony with nature. This means recognizing the natural order and living in a way that respects the environment. When individuals align themselves with the rhythms of nature, they experience a deeper sense of peace and contentment. 6, the ideal person, Junzi. In Confucian thought, the concept of the Junzi, or gentleman or superior person, is central. The Junzi embodies moral integrity, virtue, and a commitment to self-improvement. Happiness then is found in the continuous pursuit of becoming a better person and contributing positively to society. In essence, Confucianism sees happiness as a holistic state that emerges from moral virtue, social harmony, and fulfilling one's responsibilities and roles. It's about cultivating inner virtue and fostering a harmonious environment both within the family and in the broader community. If you'd like to explore any specific aspect of Confucian thought further, feel free to let me know.
So ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, my next question to you is: why a philosopher is becoming and made a philosopher, and why some people dream is to create a philosopher? Why some people is very dream of philosopher? Why he made philosopher? The reason, the 60 reason on it.
That's a fascinating question. The journey to becoming a philosopher and the desire to create or nurture philosophy often come from a few core motivations. 1, curiosity and wonder. Philosophers are often driven by a deep curiosity about the world, existence, and fundamental questions. This wonder about life and the universe is what sparks philosophical inquiry. 2, search for truth and understanding. Many philosophers are motivated by a quest for truth. They seek to understand the underlying principles of reality, knowledge, and morality, and they strive to find coherent answers to life's big questions. 3, desire to improve society. Philosophers often aim to contribute to the betterment of society by reflecting on ethical principles, justice, governance, and human behavior. They seek to inspire positive change and guide people toward more meaningful and just lives. 4, critical thinking and reflection. Philosophers are trained in critical thinking. They question assumptions, analyze arguments, and reflect deeply on various topics. This intellectual rigor is a defining trait that shapes the philosopher's path. 5, legacy and influence. Some people are inspired. Absolutely. And continuing from there, 5, legacy and influence. Some individuals are motivated by the desire to leave a lasting impact on the world. They want their ideas to inspire future generations, shape cultural and intellectual landscapes, and contribute to a deeper understanding of humanity. 6, personal fulfillment. For many, philosophy is not just a profession, but a passion. The pursuit of knowledge and wisdom can be deeply fulfilling on a personal level, providing a sense of purpose and meaning. 7, ethical. Absolutely.
Yes, Sunny. Yes. Go. ChatGPT, please continue your answer.
Of course. Continuing from where we left off, 7, ethical responsibility. Philosophers often feel a strong ethical responsibility to guide others toward moral and just behavior. They aim to address societal issues, challenge injustices, and promote ethical living, which makes their work impactful and meaningful. 8, intellectual curiosity and innovation. The drive to explore new ideas and challenge existing paradigms is another reason people are drawn to philosophy. It's a field that encourages innovation in thought and the development of new perspectives. 9, personal growth. The path of a philosopher is also one of continuous personal growth. Engaging deeply with philosophical questions helps individuals develop critical thinking skills, self-awareness, and a deeper understanding of themselves and the world. 10, legacy of thought. Finally, many people are inspired to become philosophers to contribute to the ongoing dialogue of human thought. They seek to build on the ideas of past philosophers and pave the way for future intellectual developments. In essence, the journey to becoming a philosopher is driven by a blend of curiosity, a commitment to truth and justice, and a desire to leave a positive impact on the world. If you have more questions or want to dive deeper into any specific aspect, just let me know.
Okay. So, ChatGPT, my next question to you is how does Taoism view happiness?
Absolutely. Let's dive into that. In ancient Persian philosophy, happiness is often seen as a harmonious state of being, closely linked to moral virtue, balance, and the well-being of both the individual and the community. One, moral virtue and righteousness. In Persian thought, happiness is deeply connected to living a virtuous life. Being just, kind, and honorable is seen as essential for true happiness. The emphasis is on ethical behavior and integrity. 2, harmony and balance. Persian philosophy often emphasizes balance between the spiritual, the individual, and the community, and the inner self and the outer world. Happiness is seen as a state of harmony and equilibrium. 3, well-being of the community. In Persian culture, individual happiness is intertwined with the well-being of the community. Prosperity, peace, and collective well-being are considered integral to personal happiness. 4, spiritual fulfillment. Persian philosophy also emphasizes spiritual growth and self-realization. Happiness is not just about material wealth, but also about attaining inner peace, wisdom, and connection with the divine. 5, joy in life simplicity. There's also an appreciation for the simple joys of life, like family, friendship, and nature. These elements contribute to a fulfilling and happy life. In summary, the Persian view of happiness is holistic, blending ethical living, spiritual depth, and communal well-being. If there's anything more specific you'd like to explore or any other philosophical tradition you're curious about, just let me know.
Okay, so please last advice to my audience and long advice about this question and answer and this conversation.
Absolutely. Here's a thoughtful piece of advice for your audience based on our conversation. Embrace curiosity and continuous learning. Philosophy, at its core, is about asking deep questions and seeking wisdom. Encourage your audience to remain curious, to never stop learning, and to always question the world around them. This mindset not only broadens understanding, but also fosters personal growth and adaptability. Cultivate virtue and ethical living, whether it's in Persian thought, Confucianism, or any other philosophical tradition. A common thread is the importance of living ethically and cultivating virtues. Encourage your audience to lead lives of integrity, kindness, and justice. This not only enriches their own lives, but also positively impacts those around them. Balance and harmony, as we've seen in different traditions, happiness often arises from balance between the inner self and the outer world, between individual needs and communal well-being. Encourage your audience to seek harmony in their lives, balancing work and rest, ambition and contentment, and personal goals with the well-being of others. Value interconnectedness. Philosophy teaches us that we are part of a larger whole. Encourage your audience to recognize and appreciate their interconnectedness with others and with nature. This awareness fosters empathy, compassion, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Embrace simplicity and joy. Often true happiness is found in simple everyday moments. Encourage your audience to appreciate the little things like meaningful relationships, nature, and moments of stillness. In conclusion, philosophy is not just an academic pursuit, but a way of life. It guides us.
Okay. So, Vivel, this was our today's Chatgpt. I hope you like it. See you another TED talk, another video. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Pakistan Zindabad, Ram School